Okay, in this video we're going to show how to put together the Land of Nod HiFi toy box. I guess it's because it's modeled after an entertainment center, but it's a toy box. Got nice carry handles on it, good robust construction, drawers on the bottom, and what you'll see in this video, it's actually a very fast build, and there's a couple of elements of it which are a two-person job. Mainly getting the lid on, but it's a very fast build, and this one you can do with a hand screwdriver without any real loss of efficiency, but you know, a power driver helps in a few stages. Okay, so first stage of this assembly on this Land of Nod children's bedroom set is unpacking everything. It comes with the subcomponents a little bit more assembled than you might get with Ikea stuff. And so we've got a lot of subcomponents already attached, and when you unbox it, you'll notice there's a lot of box compared to the amount of stuff once it's all unboxed. So there's a lot of garbage we hauled out of here. And I would say, depending on your workspace, you definitely want to get the garbage out as you're unboxing the system, and kind of get everything laid out so that you know what you're doing with regards to having the right parts in front of you, because this was, what, 3 boxes, I think? Yeah, it was 3 boxes to get at everything. And so we'll start right now. First sort of structure, which goes pretty quickly, there's a lot of dowel rods, short dowels that go in here, and they're not a tight fit like you would expect on Ikea stuff, so you have to kind of loose. And then there's a lot of pre-threaded inserts that are in stuff, so you're going to use these. Well, the trick with these that I'm finding is that you're going to be using a hand screwdriver for a lot of that, just because a power tool isn't going to fit into the slots. So the piece that had the extra wood on there to begin with is kind of your base piece for a lot of the other assembly. And we lay that flat. You'll see what the orientation is on the hinge here. There's kind of a tall side and long side. And then this other piece, C, goes on there. And we can see the orientation on these holes here, which is going to become relevant here in a little bit. The wheels, just like in Ikea stuff, the wheels will go toward what ends up being the front when you are building something that's going to have drawers in it. So just take a look at the video. You can see the instructional pictures. Pretty straightforward. But so far, one of the things I'm learning is this is not a lot of power tool stuff. It's a lot of hand screwdriver stuff until we start getting into those screws right there. But over here, it just we put the dowels in, and they fit kind of loosely. But once everything gets tied together with the screws, then that's what really tightens it up, because they're a larger and more secure screw than what you might see with other types of pre-flat pack furniture. So when attaching this piece that goes on the bottom, drawer support, again, we got some of the dowels, we've got some of those threaded inserts, but these use a smaller diameter screw. But again, since it's going into a metal insert and it's really close up to an edge, you got to use a hand screwdriver. Alright, so what we'll do is we attach the bottom next with the dowels, and then the screws going through. We want these to be relatively tight when we go into the base on that. And one goes right there. And then we'll, there we go. Alright, so next we'll attach the leg assembly. When attaching the leg assembly, they have an Allen wrench included with it. If you can get that with a power tool, great. The issue is that's really close to this, so when you're bumping into this with the power tool, and depending on what type you're doing, you know, you'd have to have the ball length one at that, or else you're going to start stripping and cross-threading those things. And then this is also an opportunity, because this will be about the last stage where this is upside down, to get at these 3 screws right here. Okay, so with the lid attached, this works out to be a 2-man job, because you got to have one guy holding it while the other person gets the screws started and going in. Well, the hinges are not a mirror image setup. It's a right-left, but they both face the same way. So you see there's a little bump on there. That's the upward part. And it's basically what holds this open while it's, while you have the hold open. So, do that and that. Alright. And it's actually a very solid and secure piece once it's put together. That's pretty much it for the cabinet body. Next we're going to do the 2 drawers. The drawer assembly on these is very rapid because they're already partially done. And the dowels are already in there. We basically just put the 4 sides together, put the screws on. The rails come already installed, so you're not trying to figure out the front from the rear. Even the front, with the 2 pieces are together, that came that way. We didn't just do that off camera. So the drawers on these were an Ikea drawer, averages 10 minutes. These are like, what, 2 minutes? These are pretty fast. So the assembly, though, is almost the same. It's very similar drawer hardware to other stuff. We didn't have to figure out but there is a right and a left. Okay, so you can see the way the fronts are. That's why they came already done. Oh, we had a little thing here going on with the length of the screw. That's not us. That was the other way that went, but that gets covered up when the drawer goes in there. That's a little bit of a design issue. But there is a right and a left on these drawers, but they're only going to fit one way. You don't have to figure that out on your own. So we'll get the other one together in 2 minutes. This is actually pretty fast to build because so many of the components come pre-assembled by flat pack furniture standards. And you'll notice we don't have to worry about whether or not these are upside down or right side up. They're painted on both sides. The dowels are already in. The way these set on, let's see, yeah, the way these set on, it's just that fast. It really is. Everything's pretty much just ready to go. I guess it's possible to get the front and rear mixed up, but pretty hard to get this wrong. Actually, you just keep test fitting it until it goes together, and you've got your stuff done. So what we do is you lift that up, set it up on one side as you're holding it together. Now this is where you got to be careful not to set it on something that could get scratched, because if you were to set it up here, you could gouge it because of the drawer rails. Now as far as that goes, we can just put those screws in. Don't worry about the bottom kind of falling a little bit. The big thing is we want to get that tightened down with those being relatively square, and then the rest of it's going to kind of start holding together better as you flip it back around to do the other side. Flipping it around to do the other side, it really is that fast going in. And it's screws at all corners, so they're pretty solid and secure once it's together too. We are all done.